What's up, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy Football Office Hours, brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined by the esteemed Professor Joey Wright, fighting for that tenure this week. Wants those peanuts in perpetuity. We'll see if you can get it. We're here to do nothing but answer any and all of your fantasy questions. So if you've got them, throw them in the chat. Week 5 is here, and I see we already got a couple waiting for us. Before we answer those, if you guys aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're there at Front Yard Fantasy. We're doing this every single week on top of our game show. You want to make sure you don't miss any of that. Grim fan in here has a question to kick us off. It says, which Packer are you picking up off waivers for this Monday's game? I have a chance to get both Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed. Joey, which of those two wide receivers are you preferring?
I'm making this week a love story. I'm going to grab Romeo Doubs. He's one of my favorite players to have as like a wide receiver 3 flex rest of season. I think he's just going to pull in a ton of targets for the Packers, so I'm getting Romeo Doubs.
And I like that matchup. I guess it applies to both of these wide receivers in week 5 going against the Raiders, but I'll go Romeo Doubs as well. I just have a little bit more trust in his involvement, but I'd hold Jaden Reed. One of these rookie wide receivers, Josh Downs, Jaden Reed, Marvin Mims, that hasn't done it yet, is going to be a second half difference maker. Herms wants to know who had the best team in the redo mock, and why is the answer definitely Herms? It might be Herms. Scampers had a pretty good team. Victor in here wants to know, should I trade Cup for Josh Jacobs? My current running backs are Aaron Jones and Kyron Williams, and my wide receivers are Puka and Chase. Joe, are you trading away Cooper Cup for Josh Jacobs?
I am. Am I trading away who now? Wait,
Cooper Cup for Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs? I don't think I am. I think I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Yeah, I love the idea of starting Aaron Jones, Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, and Jamar Chase. That sounds like a good starting lineup to me.
I would – maybe I'm just completely out on Kyron Williams. I would try to trade Kyron Williams while you can, while the iron's hot. I think he's going to fall off as the season goes on. I think Zach Evans is going to come back and get more involved. I just don't have a good feeling about Williams.
This is a team that has shown they want to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game. If they can avoid having – too much of a running game, they probably will. I think his volume's relatively safe. I'm not as worried about Evans, but the upside's not there, so I don't mind that. We've got Craig in here. It says, pick one to start. Brandon Stevens, Deron Bland, or Diamadre Lenoir. Joey, you're our IDP guy, so which of those would you be starting this week?
Yeah. I'm our 0-4 IDP guy. I got beat by Craig last week. I'll go Lenoir because it sounds like a floor.
And I'm going to go Deron Bland. It's according to planned. St. Louis fans, Mr. Discount in here with a question. Says, good afternoon. Should I trade Jamar Chase for Saquon Barkley in 1 point PPR?
I'd rather have Chase rest of the season.
What makes this close is the Joe Burrow injury. I'm very scared. I'm very nervous about Joe Burrow, and if he can't get this resolved, he legitimately can't throw the ball more than like 15 yards down the field right now. And that takes away a lot of Jamar Chase's upside. I think I'm willing to do this for Saquon Barkley, but it has to be a Barkley level player. You can't do this even for like a Josh Jacobs, I don't think. We got Steph in here saying Purdy, Fields, or Anthony Richardson this week. Joey, so you showed some Fields love on the show before this.
I did.
But is that enough to overcome your Richardson love?
I'm going to show you some Richardson love right now. He's my QB6 this week against Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah, Tennessee gives up points to wide receivers and quarterbacks. Now, Richardson does rush for a little bit, but I would still – listen, I can avoid a Thursday night start with Fields. Purdy's not really a decision. I don't want to play him against Dallas. It's Anthony Richardson for me. How right was I about that? I missed on P. Ryan completely. Big old whiff. But Anthony Richardson, let's go.
Maybe we should just stay away from running backs because I whiffed on Rashad White, but I was all in on Tua, and boy, is that working out. Jay said half PPR trade, Jameson Williams and Tyler Higbee for Sam Laporta. You give me the Laporta side.
Yeah, I just gave up Puka Nacua for Sam Laporta. There was a couple other players included in it, but yeah.
I love that trade. Scamper said Pickett full practice today. Cool.
Yay.
So Pickett.
Whose practice were they picketing?
The Steelers practice.
Mason Rudolph for starting?
To try to get Mitch Trubisky back on the field. They want some Milky Trubisky. Tequila Wolf. That sounds dangerous. Good afternoon, gents. Thanks for hosting the Q&A. Worried about starting Jahan tonight. But would y'all start Algier, Downs, Higbee, or Ertz over in the flex half PPR? Again, thank you so much. Joey, who you starting, Algier? Josh Downs, Tyler Higbee, or Zach Ertz in that flex spot?
The player in there that's tempting is Ertz. He's been getting targeted so much in Arizona. I still think if Jahan is healthy, I'm starting him tonight. That matchup against the Bears could be very good for him.
The Bears secondary is bad when fully healthy. The Bears secondary is not healthy going into this game. You're going to be playing against the second string on one of the already worst pass defenses in the league. Get all your Washington receivers out there tonight, I think. Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin. But I'm with you,
Moby
Joey.
Thomas is an option if you need a tight end this week.
Yeah. You can throw him in there. I like the Ertz call, though. He's been getting like double-digit targets.
You can't argue with it.
Scott Fish wants to know, who would you have to add to a Ridley for a Jonathan Taylor trade? So Ridley plus what for Jonathan Taylor? Kyren Williams?
I was about to say Kyren Williams, but I don't know. I think Ridley for Jonathan, Khalil Herbert plus Ridley would be a much more fair trade for Jonathan Taylor.
How do you feel about like DeAndre Swift plus Ridley? Do you think what we've seen from Swift is the real deal?
I think it would get turned down.
If
you had Swift and Ridley to offer to get Taylor, I think the Taylor manager would wisely accept it. But
yeah, I think you're right. Raymond in here wants to know, start Kyren Williams versus Philly or Gus Edwards versus the easy Steelers. That's a tough choice. I think I'm still rolling Kyren out there. Joey, are you rolling Gus?
I don't like Kyren, but I don't like him not that much. So yeah, it's Kyren Williams for me.
I understand the question though, Raymond. Sometimes you see that Philly name and you get worried about it, especially when it's someone like Kyren and not like a Saquon. Boring play. I know this says bang and play. Wants to know, should I trade Garrett Wilson for Deebo Samuel? Are you making this move, Joey?
I'd rather have Deebo. I really would. And I was the anti-Deebo guy, but it looks like something special is going on in San Francisco. I want parts of that. Is Zach Wilson going to get Garrett Wilson the ball every week? Last week it looked okay, but everything that we've seen before that did not look okay. So I'd rather have Deebo.
I'm going Deebo as well. I think you'll get a good week out of Garrett Wilson this week against that Denver Broncos defense. I'm excited about him in week 5, but not rest of the season.
I want to get some context on my Kyren Williams like slander that I've been on here, this little role. I have him still as a RB1 this week. He's my RB12. He's my 12th ranked RB, but it's more of a rest of the season thing.
I hear
see
you.
A lot more things getting involved. Sean McVay is known to give a lot of his running backs work.
Oh, we have our friend Danglesack 97 in here. I believe that's Finnish, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in, Danglesack. Guten Tag. Says Stafford, Russ, or Dan Jones. I know it's bad. I'm going Stafford here, and I'm plugging my nose. And if he's not healthy, Russell Wilson, it's not Daniel Jones for me behind that O-line. What do you think, Joey?
It's gonna be. Is it Stafford for me? Yeah. Where's Russ at? Yeah,
Russ is hiding.
Russ, yeah,
Russ is hiding in
he's
that
my
matchup versus the New York
QB20. So yeah, I like the matchup for Stafford. It could be a bit of a shootout, especially if Cup's back. He's the one to get him involved.
I do not like the matchup for Russell Wilson. I know he's been pretty good so far this season for fantasy, not necessarily for football, but I'll avoid him this week. Scott in here says, always answer St. Louis fan questions first. His city has terrible pizza, and since tasting pizza there, I have always felt bad for St. Louis people. Keep them in your hearts. Scott, thank you for that powerful message on this Thursday. We got Stefan here, wanted to know, thanks, Joey. Was so mad I sat Fields last week, but want to try Richardson this week. And wants to know, should I bench Devontae Adams?
I know Steph. I know her. Should you bench Devontae Adams? No, you shouldn't. He has 90 targets a game.
I'm with you. You keep him in there. Also, Tequila Wolf in here says, makes me feel better, excited for tonight.
Oh, I feel like I need a howl every time I see Tequila.
I feel like I'm going to see him at Coyote Uglies tonight, dancing on the bar or something.
Ooh.
I see we've both been to Coyote Ugly at some point in our life.
Wow.
Unruly Drip in here, currently 3-1. Congratulations in a 12-team PPR league. Amon Ross, or AR5, is that Anthony Richardson? I'm not good at my nicknames. Purdy, Bijan, Gibbs, Javonte and Brees at running back, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, Watson, Addison, and Judy at wide receiver, and then Fergie and Musgrave at tight end. Joey, is there any position group you're looking to upgrade right now, or are you staying still?
Let me look at his with Brees not getting a full workload. I'm okay with your running backs. You've got a great team here, Unruly Drip. Get that drip to be a little ruly, and I think you're going to win yourself a championship.
I'm with you. It's Caleb Wolf saying, bet you won't bench Adam, Steph. JK.
Oh,
Seriously, don't. Oh. Jay wants to know Damian Pierce versus Atlanta or Christian Watson versus Las Vegas. Give me Christian Watson.
I have Damian Pierce ranked as my 28th running back this week. I am out on Damian Pierce this week.
Joe Bob wants to know, do I trade
love
Jonathan Taylor for James Conner and Jerome Ford? I'm not making this move. What about you, Joey?
I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor.
Mr. Scampers wants to know, sit one, Gabe Kirk in Buffalo in London Town. Wait, Gabe / Kirk versus Buff in London Town or Dubs versus Las Vegas. What's Gabe / Kirk going on there?
So I would sit Gabe Davis of this group of 3 players. So he's saying he has Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk in the Buffalo matchup in foggy London Town, and he's got Romeo Dubs at Las Vegas. I'm sitting Gabe Davis out of this group.
Thank you for the explanation, and I agree with you, Joey, and not just because you explained it to me. We got our friend B8 in here, said, got offered Kittle for Pittman Jr. Thoughts?
If you need the wide receiver, I am all for this trade. If you've got the tight end depth. So say you went Kittle, and then you were like, you know what? That Joey guy likes Sam Laporta a lot this offseason. Even though he's a rookie tight end, I'm going to draft him.
What if this is the other way? What if they have Pittman Jr. and they were offered Kittle?
I don't like it.
I'm with you. I'm exactly with you. I'm on the Pittman Jr. side of this pretty firmly right now. Steph had another question for us. Pick 2 to start: Drake London, Jacoby Myers, Michael Thomas, or Puka Nacua. This is tricky with Cooper Kupp potentially coming back. What are you doing here, Joey?
Puka definitely is a start for me. I think until we see it on the field with Cooper Kupp, he's apparently going to be on a snap count possibly to begin the season. And outside of last week, Jacoby Myers has looked really targeted in this offense. I'm going to just go back to Jacoby Myers one more time. Although, Simon, we did have the call of the week last week saying London would get a touchdown in London.
He did it.
I just want to point that out.
Shout out Drake London, but he's not in London this week, so he's back on the bench. Guys, we got about 5 more minutes left here where we're going to be answering your questions. We'll get to as many as we can. Ballard in here wanted to know, would you trade Breece Hall, Alexander Madison, Amon-Ra St. Brown? I think we hit this one on the last show. Yeah, Ballard, we hit this question on the last show. I believe we were split. Joey, which way of this trade did you want?
Let's break it down for him because it was a pretty big trade. So Tyreek Hill over Amon-Ra St. Brown, yes. Aaron Jones, I'd rather have Breece Hall. So we're 1-1. Christian Kirk, I'd rather have over Devontae Parker. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stay where I'm at. There's too many moving pieces in this. I understand what you're trying to do here, but it's just a lot.
Yeah, you get Tyreek Hill, but I think the Madison, Chark Jr. is too much to give up to add a Christian Kirk, maybe. Because Breece Hall, you're downgrading to Aaron Jones. I'm with you, Joey. I think I'm staying on the other side. But the other 2 guys, our friends Justin and JL, they were down to make this trade.
Yeah, well, they didn't even make this show, so what do they know?
And Ballard said it's the biggest trade I've ever seen, so want to make sure it's good. It is a big trade, but I am staying put on that side. But I think this is relatively fair. I like Breece Hall rest of season. I like Amon-Ra rest of season. And Madison is safe but uninspiring. Grim wants to know, I need one defense for this week. Do I take the Dolphins, Colts, Bengals, or the Falcons? Full PPR.
Oh, Dolphins.
You're taking the Dolphins?
They're playing the Giants. They're going to get 40 points.
They're going to get 87 sacks against Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Go ahead and put that in there.
Yeah.
Also, Scamper said, sorry. Don't apologize for my stupidity, Scampers. I'll fight you. Bang and Play wants to know, should I start Breece over Pollard, Kyron, or Aaron Jones? Yes. But which one are you starting him over? Who's your third-ranked guy out of those 3, Joey? So you got to bench one of those 3 to
probably. Actually, I think I'm benching Breece.
You're benching Breece out of all these guys?
Yeah, I've got Aaron Jones ahead of him at RB15. Yeah, I'm gonna bench Breece out of this group.
Tough. I think I'm benching Aaron Jones out of this group, and I'll get Breece in there. But they're like Joey's favorite line. They're back to back. They're back to back, baby.
I usually say that, and it's not even true. It's not really true. I will say that I don't like Pollard's matchup the most against San Francisco. I don't like that matchup, but it's Tony Pollard, so I'm going to start him.
How do you bench Tony Pollard? Chris in here said, how are you feeling on JT? Is he staying on the Colts this year? Was enjoying Moss on my line. I'm not going to lie. Looks like he's going to play.
he said he's excited to play for the team for the rest of this season, and he was pretty adamant about this season part. But yeah,
Front Yard Fantasy, and you're saying like this stream or you'll lose in week 5. This is true.
Shoot,
you might lose in week 5 anyways, but you definitely will if you don't like the stream. Chris also
like
wants to know, do. Start one in PPR, Olave or Christian Watson. Which way you rolling here, Joey?
Watson. I wasn't high on Olave to begin the season, and what I saw last week scared me a little bit. I trust Watson.
So Tequila Wolf, and you're saying killing it, guys. Also love the Coop jersey. I love Amari Cooper, one of my favorite players. And I only put jerseys on the wall once they've left the team. And Joe Bob saying, y'all giving great vibes. Come here just for an opinion, but I'm going to subscribe. We appreciate it, Joe Bob. Welcome in, my friend.
Yeah. I don't like Amari Cooper this week. I would bench him if you have him on your teams this week.
You're benching him? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm benching him.
Yeah, his matchup's a little bit rough this week.
At least 0 points this week.
Man, who do we got on bye this week? A reminder to everybody watching: Browns, Buccaneers, Seahawks, and Chargers, I think, are the 4 teams that we got on bye in week 5. So go check your lineups, especially if you've got maybe like a Roshan Johnson on your bench. That's going to be one of your fill-in guys. Make sure you don't.
The Giants are on bye too.
The Giants are on bye every week. Chris wanted to know Nico Collins or Olave rest of season. Joey, which way are you going here?
I'm going Olave, but do I ever want to go Nico Collins? They said on the last show they're brewing something special down in Houston, and Nico Collins is a big ingredient in that. So
they're in the same tier now, but I'm going Olave. But these guys are in the same tier now. It's pretty close. Make COD great again wants to know: would you trade away Bijan and Pickens for Lamb and Achane? 18 PPRs, 3-1.
Ooh, that changes things. 18. I don't think I'm making this trade.
They've got Bijan, Saquon, Kyron Hall, Pearson, White at wide receiver, Metcalf, Waddle, Pittman, and Flowers.
If this is a 12-team league, I'm smashing this trade. But because it's 8 teams, I cannot do it. I can't do it.
This is tricky. I think I'm still doing it. I think I'm doing it, God. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm taking Lamb and Achane. It's the massive upgrade at your wide receiver 3 position that you're getting here. If you start Waddle, Lamb, and Metcalf as your 3rd wide receiver, you've got Saquon and Achane or Breece Hall as your running backs. I don't know, Joey. I get what you're saying, but I think I'm doing it.
Tough.
And also Ballard said, my bad, I forgot. No worries, my friend. Was just letting you know if you're looking for a little bit more in depth on that question, in that last stream, you can find it as well. And you can get the 2 other guys' opinions as well.
And I was sleeping during that question, so yeah.
And Joey wasn't even there. Mr. Scampers wants to know Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers, or Tyler Boyd at Arizona. So Flowers at Pittsburgh, Boyd at Arizona. What are you doing, Joey?
I want to start Zay Flowers. That was a Miley Cyrus cover.
I want to hold your hand. And mine was Bruno Mars.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm going Zay Flowers as well, Joey.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know
Flowers.
Someone dropped Dotson in my league. Am I missing something? I know he's been bad, but IDK, I think Dotson's worth a pickup.
I imagine they saw that questionable tag and got a little spooked. Go grab Jahan Dotson.
Tamian and Dude want to know Fields or Cousins this week. They got the same question for us. Joey, you rolling out Fields or Cousins against the Chiefs? It's the highest over-under of the week in that game, but Fields has a juicy matchup tonight against the Commanders.
I've got them back-to-back in my rankings, and I'm going Kirk Cousins.
I think I'm going Kirk Cousins here as well. But, dude, I understand wanting those Thursday night upside points. We're going to have time for just a couple more here. Big Tooley wants to know Zay Flowers or Romeo Dubs at flex. Joey, which way you going?
Ooh, Zay Flowers, but, man, get Romeo in there somehow.
Yeah, it's going to be Flowers for me as well, but I do like that matchup there. Quinn wants to know trade ETN for Olave and Gibbs.
Yeah, I would.
You're doing that?
Yeah, I want Olave and Gibbs.
I think Gibbs
is going to come on. Yeah, he really does. Like,
I'm down for this, Quinn.
He fits everything that the Lions want to do, and it boggles my mind that they've not put the ball in his hand more. I listen, if you're 2 yards out from the line, throw David Montgomery in there and smash it in. But in the middle of the field, get Montgomery out of there and get that ball in Gibbs' hands. He's going to make plays.
Yeah.
I would never say that Dan Campbell's face, though. He would crush me.
Yeah, David Montgomery seems very much like a Dan Campbell style of back. The Scammers in here wants to know, would you play the Lions DST versus the piss poor piece of shit Panthers or the Cowboys at San Francisco?
I'd play the Cowboys against San Francisco. I don't care how good San Francisco is. I've seen what that Cowboys DST can do, and I believe in them.
Scampers, do yourself a favor and play the Cowboys one to save yourself the pity party of the Panthers defense on your starting roster. You don't want to have to live with that on Sunday as a Panthers fan. Chris in here, one more question before we jump out of here. Kind of vague, wants to know who was a good hidden bench stash that maybe nobody's really talking about. Joey, are there any players for you that you're looking at putting on your bench right now? I've got one that's maybe not. Okay. Check your waiver wire. I think if Elijah Mitchell is not on rosters, you should put Elijah Mitchell on your roster. We've seen multiple times this season running backs go down, and then it's the next guy up. Zach Moss with Jonathan Taylor out. We see Jerome Ford kind of stepping up into that role. And if you can beat that next one, if something happens to Christian McCaffrey, those are the kind of players that I'm looking to add to my roster right now. Clear backups that'll have serious value if something changes.
Zach Evans for the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just really not buying into Kyron Williams and this staying all season. And listen, I'll have pie on my face at the end of the year if he does it, but I'm seeing him fall in the end zone and not much else. So.
All right. Joey, rapid fire this one real quick. Daniel wants to know, am I crazy to start Dotson over?
You're not crazy. You're beautiful, and you're going to do it, baby. Let's go.
Ride. I think I'm still putting Addison in there in the highest over-under game of the week, but you are not crazy to want to do that, Daniel. I don't mind that move at all. That is going to be it for us. If we did not get to your question, join our Discord. The link is below us in the description of this YouTube video. We'll throw it in the chat here as well ever so shortly. If you've got any more questions going into Thursday Night Football, we will be more than happy to answer them for you over there in our Discord. But we got to go. Joey's got to poop. I got to run a marathon. And until tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time on the Fantasy Football Game Show, we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Adios, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.